Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nasser Spear. I'm the Deputy Dean of Melbourne Business School. Welcome to all of you for joining us to today's information session. The order of the proceeding today is I will give you a bit of background about our school, a bit about our programs, and then I will pass you over to current student who will tell you a bit about her experience at MBS. We then will have the manager of the student experience programs telling you about some of the experiential learning program that we have on offer. I will then conclude by talking about the fees and scholarship and admission requirement and selection rounds. We then pass over to some question which you can provide through some chat sites. That should take about 15 to 20 minutes for my part, and then probably in total we'll have about half an hour delivering some of our programs before we move over to some question and answer. I guess when you're making choices about joining a graduate school, it's quite important that you understand what that school stands for. It's quite important that you understand who will be joining you in the classroom. It's quite important you understand the caliber of the academics who are joining you in that program and who will be teaching you in the classes. It's quite important and very important in the graduate school to understand the experiential learning and the enrichment program that we have on offer. So that's why we aim today's session is to tell you a bit about all of these parts. And of course, you need to understand about scholarship and selection rounds. At Melbourne Business School, our aim is to make an impact. We want students who can help us in this journey. Our aim is to provide leadership in business and economic decision making, both in small businesses, not-for-profit businesses, large businesses, locally and globally. Our aim is to contribute to the prosperity of the world economy and the world society at large. We're living today in very challenging environment, and needless to say, every business, every government, every political organization, every economic entity, every for-profit and not-for-profit entity are looking at ways in which they can meet today's challenges. You, as today's student, whether you join Melbourne Business School or any other graduate school, will be making that transition. You will be immersed in that transition, and most likely you will be leading businesses in terms of how they adjust to today's and future challenges. We want you, if that's your way of thinking about graduate school and about education you provide. The experience you get in the graduate school is not about what you learn in the classroom. It's about you learn in experiential learning program, in employability program, in terms of the leadership program, in terms of the activities of the club and society, among many, many others. So you are an active voice of change for today's and tomorrow's economic and social environment. At Melbourne Business School, we are very proud that we have some of the world leading academics who've got both the academic experience as well as the professional experience. You will get to hear the voices of industry. You will get to hear the voices of the academic reasoning. You will get to understand why you're studying what you're studying. You'll get to understand how you can apply what you study and where you can apply it. That's what distinguishes graduate school, and in particular, graduate school in business and economics. Also, you will be joined by students who share your passion. We are very selective in our entry requirement. We look for students who not just have the academic caliber, but we also for students who have the capabilities to deliver to the mission of the school and to what we stand for. So one of the admission requirements, which I'll be talking to you about a bit later on, is the personal statement that you need to provide. We look at that statement as importantly as we look at your academic transcript. So don't think that's just because you have the academic quality or the academic background that will guarantee you a place. So all students will go through this selection process, but that gives you assurance. People who are sitting in the classroom with you are of similar caliber to you, and you will learn from each other experience, whether it is local or global. The experiential learning enrichment program that we have been offered are quite massive, and they are evolving. And we continuously improving them and enhancing their breadth and depth, both locally and internationally. Lucrezia, who manages the experiential learning programs, will talk to you a bit about those programs in a few minutes. We do quite well globally in all of our discipline area. As you see from the ranking across the discipline of accounting, finance, management, marketing, econometric, the university at large, employability at large, we do quite well, and we're proud of that. But that's really not our measure of success, so we can create some kind of ranking flags in which to talk to you a bit about what our ranking is. It's a measure of how we are making an impact, as assessed by our current students, as assessed by our alumni, as assessed by employers, as assessed by other universities locally and globally. So that should give you some sense of assurance that you are joining a school that will help you achieve your aspiration. The program, as well as business school and the faculty of business economics, are accredited by all the relevant professional organizations. So the accounting programs are accredited by the relevant local bodies, as well as the finance program, the HR human resource programs, as well as the supply chain, among others. We also have the school and the faculty at large is quality assured through accreditation by the American Accrediting Agency, AACSB, as well as the European agency, EQUIS. So you have a sense of assurance about we are delivering to our mission. The main aim of this accrediting agency to measure how we are making progress on our mission. Do our students see us who are making progress on that mission? Do our program reflect the quality aspiration that we try to deliver? So you get that sense of assurance that comes from an accrediting agency. In terms of the program we have an offer, clearly I can't have time to tell you a lot about about our programs. We have a large number of programs, so I'll be brief today, but you will receive later on a link to access to download the brochure if you wish, but you also can go to mbs.unimel.edu.au and look at all the study options that you have available for you, both in terms of pre and post experience program. But in general, my interest is try to deliver a summary to you today within the next 5-10 minutes in terms of whether the programs fit your career aspiration, whether they are designed for people who are in or applicants who are in early career or recent graduate. So somewhere like you sit in the space between 0 to 2 years of experience versus programs that are designed for experienced professional. And this could range from 3 all the way up to senior executive level. So we have programs that cater for all of those backgrounds. And our program breadth as well cover all areas of business and economics, from accounting, finance, HR, international business, marketing, actuarial science, econometric, entrepreneurship, analytics, as well as we have some joint program with other schools within the University of Melbourne, such as program in marketing communication with the Graduate School of Humanity and Social Sciences, such as the Master of Engineering Management with the Melbourne School of Engineering, such as the Master of Public Administration with the Faculty of Law and the Faculty of Arts. So let me start by talking about some programs that sit in the early career space. So in other words, these are designed, as I said earlier, for students who are just recent graduates or that have a couple of years experience. These programs, the main suite of program in that space is called Master of Management. The Master of Management, you could think about it, it's similar to MBA suite of program, but for early career professional. So you will study the same set of subjects from across all discipline areas, and you will get foundation study as well as advanced study, but you will get also the opportunity to specialize. And the opportunity here is you can specialize in accounting, finance, human resources, management, marketing, as well as the opportunity to do dual specialization in accounting and finance. The length of these programs are between 1.5 years to 2 years. And we are also creating, as of next year, the opportunity to complete this program faster than that through accelerated study options by combining some of your studies using the winter and or summer break. So you could, for example, finish 150-point program or the 1.5 year program within 12 months, if that's something you wish to do. The difference between the 1.5 year and 2 year program depends on your academic background. So if you do have business background or you have prior studies where you have taken business and economic at breadth subject and that's deemed equivalent to a foundation study in business and economics, then your study will be limited to 1.5 year program. Otherwise, you'll be enrolled in the 2 year program. As I said, you could finish those earlier. We also have the Master of International Business. The Master of International Business sits in the same space as the Master of Management. The difference from the Master of Management, the entire focus of that degree is international business operation, from international HR to international marketing to investment that affect international businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll study a lot of issues that affect cross-culture and international boundaries of business, and we live in that world. So the Master of International Business is quite an important discipline to study. And Lisa is current student in the program, and she'll speak to you a bit later on about her experience in that program. We also have a number of specialist masters that are designed for recent graduate or early career professional student. So, for example, we have Master of Finance, Master of Economics, we've got Master of Actuarial Science, Master of Commerce, and so on. And you will find some others, Master, as I move on. But the main point when you start thinking about specialist masters, these masters build on cognate study in that area. So for example, if you finish Bachelor of Finance and you want to advance your study in finance, so you can access multiple areas of the finance industries, from corporate restructuring to investment banking, to merger and acquisition and the like, then the Master of Finance provides you that opportunity to get the in-depth knowledge. So it's expanding and enhancing your capability in the finance discipline. So while, for example, if you say I have Bachelor of Finance, you will access entry-level position in finance. The Master of Finance gives you this advanced knowledge which accelerate your career at corporate level and access, as I said, different industry, different parts of the finance industry. The Master of Economics, the same way. There is expectation you have Bachelor of Economics, the same with Actuarial Science. So these specialist masters presume background and an undergraduate degree in that discipline area. We also have program in entrepreneurship and program in marketing communication. I want to spend a minute talking about entrepreneurship. This is a program we are running it at the Wade Institute located at Ormond College, which is one of the colleges affiliated with the University of Melbourne, on the campus of the University of Melbourne. While we're running it there, basically this program, we designed it to advance the entrepreneurship agenda of Australia, to advance the innovation agenda in Australia, whether that is within corporate sector, within any business organization, whether it's for-profit or non-profit, or whether you want to pursue your startup. This program is custom delivered in a very catered approach and custom-built facilities, and through financial generosity of Peter Wade, and after him we named the Wade Institute. She will be studying a program at the Wade Institute in that custom-built facility. The program, it's 1 year length, but you study it intensively. Effectively, you're studying 150 points within 1 year. But you start semester is much earlier than regular semester, and you end. So you start in February, you end in December. And you will be joining that program with mentors, with funding bodies and funding organization and funding individuals who will help you in your journey. So that program is limited in terms of intake. We take about 25 to 30 students in that program. Probably it's suitable to talk now about analytics. Analytics at large, whether that is the Master of Applied Econometric, the Master of Business Analytics, or the Master of Analytic Management. First thing, probably you need to understand the difference between the three. The Master of Applied Econometric versus the Master of Business Analytics, they are both catered toward early career professionals. These programs are designed to help you make contribution to organization through understanding data behavior and designing strategy around data and around the data we're receiving, so you can connect this with the strategy of the organization. We're living in a world where data is being generated on a daily basis in large quantity. Organizations are trying to understand how to use this data for strategic decision making. At the same time, they want to feed back into the creation of data set that can help them improve their market positioning or market power or deliver to their mission. The difference between the two is that the Master of Business Analytics is focused on businesses, whereas the Applied Econometric is an analytic program but focused on the use of economic reasoning, economic theory, and to make use data to make economic decisions. So this is, for example, Reserve Bank of Australia, when they make decision about interest rate, they use analytics, they use understanding of about behavior and understanding data behavior of individual and organization and people and businesses and the like, and international economy, all of that through the use and source of the data and economic theory to make those decisions. So they both sit in the same space. They develop your quantitative skills, analytical skill, and ability to analyze data and make use of that data for strategic making, whether it is in economic entity, in government, whether through the Master of Applied Econometric, or through business analytics, through the business sector. The Master of Analytic Management, on the other hand, is designed for people who already have significant years of experience. So 5, 10 years of experience. This is about the people who manage the strategy and they receive report data. So in a way, you could think about it, these people have an MBA level capabilities and they're supplementing that with analytic management. That's why we look at this entry program, you're expected to have completed some MBA part as a foundation study to joining this program. So it's beyond the MBA in a way, at the way it sits. So it's a post-experience program as opposed to pre-experience program in the Applied Econometric or the Business Analytic. It's probably now an opportunity to talk about the post-experience program in general. I'm not gonna go in detail. In here, we've got the MBA suite of program. If you're interested to learn about the MBA suite of program, you probably need to attend virtually or in person at one of the information sessions designed to discuss the MBA options available to you. We have a number of options there. There's the full-time program, there is the part-time program, there is the executive, there is the senior executive. And I think this discussion needs to be custom around these programs, but these are all designed for people who have work experience. And the design different, and the delivery mode is quite different. We also have Master of Supply Chain Management. Clearly, we live in a world where, especially nowadays, in this COVID-19 situation, we're dealing with, hopefully, post-COVID situation, and during it, how to manage the logistic, how to manage the supply chain line, how to build strategy around it. Every business is going through this now. This program is designed for post-experience professional. In other words, you must have work experience, minimum 3 years. Most people in this class sit in around 7 to 10 years experience. This is really a program that's in today's age, as well as analytic programs are probably at the forefront of what we are trying to deliver to help economy and business. We have a number of online coursework. These are 100% online. These are designed in the online space as online program. We have the graduate certificate in business. And then we have the graduate certificate in indigenous business leadership, and we have the professional certificate in supply chain. Let me start with the professional certificate in supply chain management. This is basically, it gives you an online option to start your Master of Supply Chain. So if you have finished prior study or have some experience in supply chain, you can start a professional certificate in online space and then move to the Master of Supply Chain and receive full credit for that. So in a way, this is a nested program within the Master of Supply Chain. Let me talk next about the graduate certificate in indigenous business leadership. This program is designed exclusively for indigenous Australian. It's designed to build the capability of indigenous Australian in leading business and making an impact business. This is 100% online with an element of on-campus. So there is an on-campus subject and there is some online. So it's really blended in a way. So it's not 100% online in that space. The graduate certificate in the business, I'll close the online discussion by talking about graduate certificate in the business. It's the foundation study in business and economics. So when I talked to you about the Master of Management, I said this is program designed as either 1.5 year or 2 year, depending on whether you have cognitive background. If you don't have cognitive background, you need a foundation semester. That foundation semester, which is the difference between the 150 point versus 200 point, is really pitched here in the online space. Why did we put it in online space? For a number of reasons. A number of you might wish to learn about the foundation of business economics, and that's all what you want. You might be science professional, you might be science graduate, you might be engineering graduate. You don't need an entire master's degree. You need to understand the foundation of business to make use of it during your career as you progress through your discipline area. So this program will be quite suitable. It might be those of you who are thinking about studying business and thinking, I want to just sample and understand a bit. So this program provides an opportunity to understand in the foundation of business, and then whether you decide to progress or not, then that's something you can make, that decision you can make it based on this understanding. Should you decide to progress, you can go from here to the Master of Management. You will receive full credit for the subject you studied in this online graduate certificate, provided you maintain a minimum GPA of 70%. So these are the 3 online programs we have on offer. We have also a research program. These are research high degree program. These are made up of the PhD program as well as the coursework component. Typically, PhD programs are 3 years program, but they presume some kind of prior studies in research study or master in research and the like. We design all our research program or our doctoral program to have 2-year coursework component plus a 3-year PhD. So you will start with MCOM research-based program leading to 3-year PhD program, whether that's in accounting, finance, economic, decisional risk, financial sciences, management, marketing, etc., etc. The main point to understand here is we want you to first get the research training, proper rigorous research training through, and that's a 2-year coursework. This is not your like Master of Management training. This is not coursework training for a career in industry. It's really designed mostly for an academic career and some industry that require PhD in that field. For example, PhD in economics is expected, or doctoral degree in economics is expected prerequisite to join many economic organizations. So this program requires specific discussion that you probably need to talk to the program director in that discipline area to see your suitability of that program and the entry requirement and the like. So I'm not going to be able to talk a lot today about it. But please, if you're interested in doctoral program, send us an email or let us know through the chat, and we will connect you with the program director for that PhD. And it's an opportunity to meet in the doctoral and talk about your background and understand whether there is a match between your aspiration for that program and what the program stands for. I think that's about the end of my first part, where it's aiming to provide a general overview of all our coursework and research program. As I said, you will receive or you can access the entire set of program with sample of what you're likely to study and reach, and the structure, etc., on the website by accessing mbs.unimel.edu.au. I now turn to Lisa Chen. Lisa is a current Master of International Business student, and she'll tell you about her experience. I'll come back to you after to tell you about scholarship and fees at the end of the day. Lisa?
So my name is Lisa Chen. I will tell you a little bit about myself and what I was doing before I started my degree in Master of International Business at Melbourne Business School, and what my experience has been like for the past 12 months. So going back in time, I studied a double degree, a Bachelor of Commerce with a Bachelor of Arts. My majors were in International Business and Chinese Studies in Sydney. So my degree, I studied it because it was preparing me to go and work in Asia with that Asia focus. But it was really an accident when I finished my undergraduate degree that I moved out to the countryside. I moved out to a regional town called Bega, and I joined the Australian dairy industry. So I joined Bega Cheese, Australia's largest cheese manufacturer at the time. And I started out in their international sales and exports, looking after their export customers across North Asia, Middle East, and even the smaller regions across the Pacific, like Bangladesh. At the time, the company was growing at an accelerated rate. And it was growth through acquisition, right? So when the company grows and you acquire new businesses, you have to integrate the new businesses into your corporate group. I remember having a conversation with HR, and HR said to me, Lisa, there's a great opportunity. You can work and join the acquisitions and integration team, but you don't have to worry about what your colleagues think because no one else really wants the role. What an attractive opportunity, right? So after 6 months looking after the export sales and logistics, I moved out and worked in the integrations team. I was able to work on some pretty exciting, really high profile acquisitions. At the time, I remember Mondelez was divesting their grocery foods business. And not many people can say that they worked on the acquisition to bring Vegemite back to Australian ownership. So I was able to work on the acquisition of Vegemite and integrate that back into an Australian business. After the Vegemite acquisition, I also worked across multiple acquisitions across Australia. But after 2 years, I was doing it was almost you build this system and then you implement it. And after 2 years, it was, I want to be doing something different. So that's how I came across Melbourne Business School. I think choosing to study a Master of International Business for me at Melbourne Business School, firstly, when I finished my degree, it was about 5, maybe 7 years from now, we studied China and India. Everyone was talking about China and India, but now the investment flows, the trade flows have changed, and I wanted to be able to kind of upskill and update my skill set. Choosing Melbourne Business School to me, well, having a #1 ranking as Australia's #1 business school, it was a simple choice for me because I want to be in a classroom where I can learn from the best and the brightest in the world. And it's so reflective in the classroom because the diversity is so representative across the international markets, the supply chain, and just the international environment. I think being in the classroom and being able to have the discussions with the diverse cohort, it really trains me and the people I work with of how do you work in an international team? How do you have thoughtful disagreements? I think one of the most rewarding experiences for me in the classroom is being able to have that artful disagreement. I can walk into the classroom with a fixed idea of, okay, so this is what we do in industry, this is streamlined, this is standard practices. But then I can also ask the questions and disagree with people around me and say, do you know what? Why do you think like that? Or can you tell me more? So when I leave the classroom, I have so many different ideas and it's a fascinating experience, something that I don't take for granted. And then I think also spending time in the classroom after having gone out to industry and to come back. It's a really reflective period of time that I can think about now. So this is what I've done. This is what I'm learning. And then what can I possibly do that I could not have done before coming to Melbourne Business School? And it continues to be a reflective time. The degree itself has a lot of flexibility in terms of electives. For me, having spent time in the Australian dairy industry, but having no specific training in agriculture, having studied in a school of agriculture, I was able to spend time in Melbourne School of Agriculture and really study the dairy production system. It's fascinating for me because I can really pursue an elective that aligns with my personal interests and also my background in training. And it's a wonderful opportunity, again, just to apply that business model into industry, because there is always a business in every industry or a different environment. So it enhances my training and my ability to apply what I learned in the classroom back into the industry. And again, a lot of the great friends I've built over time are from Melbourne Business School. And thinking about it, because we do study with the best and the brightest in the world, a lot of my strongest friends now are Australia Awards Scholars, which is an initiative from the Australia's Foreign Aid Program that established industry professionals come out to Australia, they study, and when they go home, they go back to contribute to social development and impact in the international environment. Some of my greatest friends are out in Pakistan working for the UN Women's Development or the World Health Organization in Laos. And these friendships could not have been possible had I not studied at Melbourne Business School. So I think for everyone thinking about whether they should pursue postgraduate studies at Melbourne Business School, there is no right or wrong choice. It's a matter of thinking about where, for me, it was, this is where I am in my career, this is what I can learn, and this is what I cannot learn. So finding that gap and finding that time to be able to go out and pursue that is a really, really worthy experience if you do have the opportunity to do so.
Thank you, Lisa. That was very inspiring. I'm Lucrezia with the Student Experience and Experiential Learning team within the Faculty of Business Economics. My team is responsible for developing programs that will get you job ready. So when you join the Melbourne Business School, you'll be encouraged to do more than just attend class and submit your assessment. We're asking you to be responsible for your own journey, but we're here to provide you offerings and a variety of extracurricular, co-curricular that will enhance your learning. So some of the opportunities you'll have access to will include mentoring programs and internships, our work integrated learning subjects, and our various case competitions and clubs and societies. With the Career Mentoring Program, we have the opportunity to give you access to industry professionals who will offer you guidance and advice throughout a 2-semester program. We have a lot of attendance in that, and students experience great results and get great connection and network with the industry. We're pleased to announce that we've introduced an internship subject this year in 2020, which allows you to apply for credit, so a full 12.5 points. Students need to source their own internship, and if you meet the subject requirements, which are available on our website, you'll be able to add that internship as part of your program as one of the electives. With regards to, there are also industry partners that work with us, and they provide external internships which are not for credit, but we advertise those through our career pages all the time. So look out for those when you're here. Our work integrated learning subjects, they would have to be our signature electives in the Melbourne Business School. The practicum subjects are our consulting subjects, where you are allocated a team of 4 students, and you get to work on a real life project provided by industry. You get to experience in company time within the organisation's company, as well as provide a report that is often taken on you provide a report that gives solutions to a business case, and that is often taken on by our industry partners and applied to within their organisation. With the business practicum, it's offered across our winter and summer semesters. We are also introducing a semester-long version that begins this semester into semester 2 of 2020, and that will continue. So for those that want that intensive 2-week experience, there is that available, and the option of taking it across a semester long. In winter time, we often take our students, or at least 20 students, to Sydney, so that's an option to go interstate as well. With the global business practicum, that takes the business practicum to another level. Besides experiencing that same real-life project, you will also get to experience it in an international setting. So you get to experience the business culture of another country, which is a great opportunity. In the past, we've gone to Singapore, Shanghai, Paris, London, Hong Kong, and in the future we hope to even get to Madrid, Munich. So some great opportunities for our students. Besides those different subjects, we have case competitions and UniMelb startup competition. These are opportunities again to network with the industry, join a community of students, be part of the Melbourne Business School community, and experience solving a business case, which is given to us by industry. So it is a real business case. You'll be able to develop your employability and leadership skills through the wide variety of training that we offer within that competition. And what is also growing is the startup competition, which is the UniMelb Startup, which this is where you can actually meet up with students from other disciplines as well, because it is an opportunity to team up with students from Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Medicine, if that were the case. And it prepares you as upcoming entrepreneurs to skill up and learn the skills that allow you to pitch a business startup to somebody. So besides the skills that you learn, you will also compete against your peers. We also offer a series of skills workshops, and with these workshops we have run anything from CV preparation right through to networking skills, business etiquette, and the available programs that we have on offer has been growing over time. And when you're here, it is a must to take advantage of everything that we offer you, because it isn't just your experience in the classroom. To complement that, you need to take up additional activities, expose yourself to industry, and give yourself the opportunity to network. So please come plan your journey with us, and we're really excited to have you on board. Thank you.
The opportunity provided for you, much of them rely on your willingness to participate. These programs some of them are for credit, but many of them are not for credit. They are put in place to enhance your skill and employability outcome. You are expected to participate in as many of these as possible. Our job is to make sure they are relevant and they are helping you with your career aspiration. And now turn to talking a bit about our scholarship program. I think at Melbourne Business School we have one of the most generous scholarship program globally, not just locally. We have dedicated a number of scholarships that range in value between 25 to 100%. Most of the scholarships sit in the space of 25% fee remission to 50% fee remission. We reserve most of the 100% fee remission for doctoral degrees, but we did award some 100% fee remission in cases. Of course, the university also offers a number of additional scholarships that are available on the scholarship website of the university. These are faculty dedicated scholarships, and as I said, they are mostly fee remission. We also have a number of Commonwealth supported places that are clearly dedicated in this case to local students, and they are awarded based on academic merit. In all of the scholarships and the Commonwealth supported place, you don't have to apply. You'll either hear from us immediately with when we respond to your application. We might immediately offer you a place, and also offer, whether concurrently, a scholarship or a Commonwealth supported place. In some cases, you will hear later. In neither case, you need to apply for either the CSP, Commonwealth supported place, or for the local or international scholarships. We assess scholarship on a continuous basis, and we award them in some program or round. In some program, we award them as we receive certain application. I have to probably say as well, we have a number of scholarships that are available for continuing student, including some CSP places. So if you have joined us and you didn't receive scholarship on commencement, after finishing 4 or 6 subjects or the like, and we found out that your performance is at a scholarship that deserves to be awarded a scholarship, we will do so by ourselves. Again, you don't need to apply. We have an entire dedicated scholarship management team that manages your performance, and we meet regularly to make decisions about awarding additional scholarship for continuing students. So it goes for both commencing as well as continuing students. The entry requirement, you clearly need to have an undergraduate degree with a minimum GPA that we expect. But as I said early in my point, the GPA is not the only determinant of you receiving an offer from Melbourne Business School. It's quite competitive to get in, and you're competing with some of the brightest. So your job is to craft a personal statement that really delivers to us why you want to do that degree. How does it benefit you? How does it benefit your career? What do you hope to do with it in the future? You also need to tell us in that personal statement a bit about anything that has affected your prior study. And you tell us if, for example, you can apply, of course, if you have Graduate Access Melbourne, if something affected your study that can fit within the category of the Graduate Access Melbourne. But some students might have struggled through some early study. Some students could have shifted study from one specialization to the other. So there has been period when, for example, there has been underperformance and period of highlighted performance. It's basically the opportunity to communicate with us about your story, both in terms of academic and both in terms of the experiential and enrichment program you have completed, any leadership opportunity you have completed. All of this matter, not just for your admission, but they matter as well for awarding you scholarship. So we encourage you to craft that personal statement very carefully and very concisely as well. Some programs require that you submit the GMAT or the GRE. That's only for certain specialist master, and only if you haven't completed your prior study in Australia or New Zealand. But otherwise, most programs are exempt from that GMAT. Clearly, if you're an international student, you'll be required to submit the IELTS result, TOEFL or equivalent, and you have those details on the web. For some programs, we require specific performance on individual bands. So you might find, for example, for the Master of Finance, there's specific requirement about on each band that you must perform at. The application for semester 2, 2020, for international application 30th of April, for local application or domestic application 31st of May. Even if you haven't completed your prior study, you can submit your application. We will assess it. We might give you conditional offer. Some students haven't met the English requirement yet. They might receive conditional offer on that basis. And if you are studying now your option in preparation for semester 1, 2021, again, the deadline for international students are toward November and October of this year. I think that's about all that we have to talk to you about. I guess you can please continue to ask your question, and we'll continue to answer them until 7 p.m. our time. And if you need any information, please access mbs.unimelb.edu.au. We're always happy to meet you on campus should you desire to come by. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope you found the session very informative.